Welcome to the Podkey summary of Dub Daily Day 3 from WWDC 2026. Apple's AI story is getting a lot more practical for developers. The big theme here is that Apple Intelligence isn't being pitched as a sealed-off assistant anymore, but as something apps can plug into, shape, and actually make useful in everyday moments. That shows up in a few places. New access to Apple's Cloud AI, smarter routing between local and cloud models, vision tools folded into language workflows, and Siri getting better at reaching into apps and answering normal human questions. One of the clearest messages was this two-way partnership idea. Developers' apps get more powerful through Apple's intelligence, and Apple's intelligence gets more meaningful when it can work with real app data and app actions. That matters because it frames developers less like passengers and more like co-creators. The better the app context, the better the AI experience feels for the person actually using it. Apple is also opening up private cloud compute to developers, which is a big step beyond the on-device model it emphasized last year. So now, the same server-side system behind Apple Intelligence can support third-party apps too. And Apple isn't pretending one model does everything. Developers can also tap third-party large language models like Gemini and Anthropic's Claude. So the toolkit now includes Apple's own compute plus outside AI services, when that makes sense. The really useful plumbing here might be dynamic profiles. An app can decide request by request whether something should stay on device or go to the more powerful cloud model. That gives developers room to build different logic paths inside one app, instead of forcing everything through one fixed prompt. Apple described that as enabling higher-level ideas like skills, which is a neat way of saying the app can get a lot more context-aware and modular. Apple is also blending image understanding with language models more directly. OCR and barcode scanning from the Vision framework can now be called as tools inside the Foundation Models framework. So a developer can send one request that asks a model to look at an image, pull out text or codes, and return something structured. Fewer handoffs, less duct tape. App intents are the bridge that lets Siri interact with third-party apps in a more natural way. Developers can expose app content and actions so people can ask for information or trigger tasks in plain language. That could mean setting a timer, updating a calendar event, or pulling up information that usually lives a few taps deep, where only the brave ever visit. The everyday examples are what make all of this click. Someone asked Siri whether outside food was allowed at a Giants game, and got the policy plus a reference link right away. Another example was asking about a restaurant chef, prices, and reservation policy. Instead of opening 5 tabs and forgetting why the third one was open, Siri can just give a concise answer. So the headline is pretty simple. Apple's AI is becoming more useful when it can reach beyond itself into cloud compute, app data, and real-world tasks. If Apple can make that feel smooth instead of complicated, that's when this starts to matter for regular people, not just keynote people. This episode was generated by Podkey. Create your own at podkey.fm.